Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Stable. As you can see, I'm a little winded, but got the 86 moved over here. So using our little dollies here to get the car in position. So got it off this side already. Gotta get the two dollies out of that side, but I think I got it pretty much even from the post to the car on both sides. So once I get these dollies moved out the way, I should be able to kind of push it back as far as I can. We do have this little hump right here. But as you can see back here, we got our tailpipes hitting. So I just got to make sure I push the car back, get our tailpipes up over that, then push the car back. Once we just get our wires out of the way, they can just hang and dangle down, or, I'll pull them off to the side. Once we get our motor mounts in the holes, then it is just getting our transmission cross member in place down there. And then that's pretty much it. Here we are a little bit later. So went ahead and elected to take the upper intake off because I didn't feel like trying to find all of our chains and everything to make it reach. So with the intake off, I should have plenty of slack in each of the chains to get that in there. Went ahead and taped the lower intake off so nothing falls down in there. So hopefully now I can get this thing off of our little stand here. All right, so I was able to kind of stab several times and drill and get our old rear main out. It did look like it was actually leaking and this engine's been sitting, so good to go ahead and do that. New one is in, and all we did was we got our little plumbing cap fit right on there. So once I was actually able to slide that on there all nice and neat, and then this fits perfectly around the crank and just hit it all in evenly. So that's nice and set now. So last thing I forgot about before I can bolt the transmission up is probably go ahead and replace our pilot bearing, because that's not even rotating. So gotta find our socket that we used last time that fits on the inside of that, and then I gotta go inside and grab a piece of bread to start stuffing it in there and then get that pilot bearing out. All right guys, so if you can see it, this is a 12 mil socket. Started going in there. We got about one full piece of bread, so I didn't even use the second one, but it is starting to come out. So yep, I was right, a couple more hits, came right out. So I will have to fight to get this bearing off of our socket, maybe. I can just set it in our vise up there and hit it out, but now all you guys gotta do, dig your bread out. All right, so new pilot bearing is in. So that leaves us with bolting our flywheel and clutch. All right guys, so as you see, kind of shut it down for the night because it turns out I do not have flywheel bolts for this. I had two sets. I think they were both for the 96, so can't use either one for this. I'm gonna have to order those. All right, y'all, we are back 4 days later, something like that. Anyway, so got our new flywheel bolts from LMR so we can get our flywheel put on. Then we will be doing the clutch, bolting the transmission to it, and hopefully getting this thing in the car. My dad did come out, so he got the clutch fork on there, so that is all good to go. So hopefully it's fairly simple, shouldn't be nothing too crazy. But with that, I don't know why kind of impulse, but I went ahead and bought a cold air intake for this car because I don't have one. Here in the Springs, we have silicone intakes by us, so I probably could have went up there and just made one for like 30 bucks, but I went with LMR and just bought their little black one. So that is what we're doing today. Just a little update with my dad's car. Not too much, it's running great. The fan is kicking on. We thought his fan wasn't working the other day, but it's kicking on like it's supposed to. But he did buy new little pedals. We got our pieces to get his window trim on that finally came in. So we've been working on that. We just got to do the top one, but his little clip was bad on that side. And then for Father's Day, we got him this radio, and we will be ordering the, I think it's 417 Fox or whatever the guy's name is on YouTube, ordering his bezel to relocate the HVAC controls down low and then have the touch screen in the middle of the dash. So that's gonna come up soon. All right, guys, update. So this is one of those days where just nothing has gone right. So we got the flywheel bolted to the back of the motor and we took it back off. So I started all the ARP bolts for the pressure plate going around, and for whatever reason, they started by hand, but then they got extremely tight and the pressure plate didn't want to mate up to the clutch. So I backed one of our ARP bolts out, and every single one of them. So on our flywheel over here now, that's the stock one, but the one that came with the clutch I bought off Facebook Marketplace, all these threads are jacked up all the way around. And then, so I ran a tap through them, tried to clean them up, and trying to get one of them to start right here, we snapped our ARP bolt off. So have no bolts to even try to put this motor together. So that means we have a long weekend this weekend with it being Juneteenth, and can't get the motor done or can't get it in the car this weekend because I don't have bolts and I doubt anybody's gonna have them local. So I am over these two flywheels. They were probably both going to go into the trash, and we are just gonna get a brand new flywheel and some more ARP bolts and then go from there. So that is the update, and I guess the update is there is no update. So we'll pick this video back up when I have a new flywheel and new bolts. All right, guys, so we are back. I actually ordered this on Thursday. I was not expecting to be able to continue this video this soon. So I was gonna end it off, but we're just gonna jump right back into it. So I got our little small little block off plates for the back of the head right there, even though I had the little like closed-ended screws. Went ahead and ordered those new ARP bolts for our pressure plate, and then this is a brand new flywheel. So the only thing I got to double check with this flywheel is to see if our dowel pins still fit. So we'll get to that point once we get there. The easiest thing to do now is install our little block off plates. I don't know if these need RTV, but like I said, you guys can see the threads in there from the little insert I did. So not worried about it too much, but let's go ahead and jump into this. So far, we were able to get this side in, but I forgot I actually have a bolt in that to use the hoist here. But new flywheel's on, just need to go ahead and torque that down. The only thing I got to double check, like I said, is our dowel pins, which actually I have one right here. So we'll see if this fits in any of the holes, which if I'm lucky, maybe it will. Just needs to be tapped in there. So I just got to figure out where these go. Has to be one of those, but seems like it might go in. If not, I mean, I got the two other flywheels over there where maybe I can steal some dowel pins from. Kind of had to tap our dowel pins in to the flywheel with the hammer, but we got them right there. Got all of our ARP bolts in, so we are finally ready to take the next step. This is a used clutch, but looks pretty good. New flywheel. I forgot the brand of the clutch. I think it starts with an F. Don't remember off the top of my head. Got it off Facebook Marketplace. So next thing that I have to do is make sure that our bolt is good on this side before I attach our transmission to this thing, lift it up in the air, and then try to angle it into the Foxbody, which I'm gonna have to lift the hood up, clear everything out the way, and see if I can maybe ratchet strap or bungee cord our hood to the trunk up there to hold it up higher, so I got enough clearance to try to drop this thing down in here. All right, so hood is up out of the way. We got 3 bungee cords running across the top, but I think everything is out the way for the most part, outside of maybe pushing our vacuum lines back, which I'm not too concerned about. But bungee cord is down around the trunk and then over here to our trunk latch. So everything should be up out the way. I just need to scoot this engine back and then finally, after all this time, mount this transmission to it. All right, guys, I am drenched in sweat, but I had to open up the windows. It is blazing in here. But it was a fight, and we got our transmission bolted up to the engine. So now I just got to double check that I have the hoist in a secure spot, which I'm gonna let you know right now that one's sketchy. We'll see. But so everything is ready to go for me to try to angle this, get the clearance high enough to ease it on in there. So you can kind of see the wicked angle we got on there. Don't mind that, that is not secure. Don't do it like I did. But transmission's mostly in there. Cleared the oil pan without dinging anything out. The only thing is our firewall got a little scuffed up, but that's all good. Not too worried about that. So now, truthfully, I just need to push it back in a little farther so we clear our pulleys on the front, line up our motor mounts, get those secure, and then once the motor mount is secure, try to find some type of way where I can lift the car up while the trans is somewhat supported so I can get our cross member in place. All right, guys, so here we are hours later. The motor is back out. So my dad ended up waking up a little bit early. He goes into work tonight. Tried to give me a hand, but unfortunately, we keep attaching our chain to the back of the motor and it's rubbing all on the firewall, which I went ahead and painted again. So we can't find our other chain, the longer one, because the only one we have is this one. We only have that small chain right there. So we were actually trying to move this around and maybe go chain it across the headers to get the clearance we need, but we are just fighting getting it in the motor mount. So my dad is currently looking for the other chain we had around here somewhere, but I have a feeling we're not gonna be able to find it. So I'm thinking that this is probably gonna wrap up this video. All right, so we were able to find another chain, but it is 7:43. So my dad has 2 minutes before he needs to start getting ready for work, so he's gonna go shower and do that. So fortunately for today, we've run out of time. So I'm gonna have to cut this video off here. All right, guys, so I could not let myself post this video without getting this engine in this car. So we are back at it again. Borrowed a chain from my neighbor, Bob. Got it hooked around the headers. But hopefully that'll give us the angle we need, because before last week, Sunday, I believe, we were hitting the back of the firewall with how I had our bolt in the back of the head where our chain was attached before. So kind of funky, but before this thing falls, let me try to maneuver this thing in. All right, so after some fighting, and as you guys seen, I had that funky angle on the whole engine and trans where it's kind of just straight up and down. Had to put the jack underneath the transmission, slide that into place, and then my dad came out here and gave me a hand because we couldn't get the little alignment nipple to line up on this side. So got all that. Now we got this engine, I guess, support bar. There you go. And I'm gonna jack it up in the air real quick just so I can get my transmission cross member mounted, and then that takes care of that part of it. And then it's just kind of reassembling the upper part of the motor and then tightening our motor mounts. And then the 86 officially has the engine back in it. All right, guys, so after fighting with this thing because of the alignment nipple, we finally got the engine in the car. Transmission is in, obviously. We got the transmission cross member in with a brand new motor mount. So all that stuff's tight. So all that leaves over the next few days, and I'll probably end up starting a whole new video so I can go ahead and end this one, edit, post it. Over the next few days, we will do drive shaft, exhaust, tighten our motor mounts, fuel rails, upper intake, and then that is pretty much it. And then we get to work on the inside, putting the carpet, all that stuff, and our headliner in. So finally, I can post this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in because we got more content with this coming.